afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting Propagandacast from your host, Imperial Dane, Master Propaganda, Hero of Psych, Defender of the Fatherland, all fit and exciting 1 vs 1 on the road to Kharkov, where Soviet forces under the command here of Vausten, leading here the 15th Guards tank, who have broken through the German lines, rushing ahead at high pace, leading the Germans here to force Oberst Fortune fighting out for the Wehrmacht Germany, the 1st Panzer Division, to form a kampfgruppe to delay the Soviet armoured assault, or even crash it. And we got here encirclement, fortified armour and elite troops built for him with double mortars, pioneer bulletins versus Vausten's guard motor, armoured assault and Soviet industry with penal trooper guard, well more specifically elite troops bulletins, and Sato charges as well for Vausten. So this is getting in pretty aggressively there with the penal trooper start, double engineers sipping ahead there for the Soviet Union. Most of the guns ready to shoot down any fascists, as we got a double pioneer start for Fortune in 74-2, which indicates that Fortune seems to be playing here for a tier 2 rush with the 2nd infantry here for him. So securing here the cutoff point with some pioneers, sandbags and barbed wire, all forming into one solid obstruction for a few seconds there for any rations, as long as it's manned. Pioneers moving for the fuel there. Moving ahead, he might try to occupy the house to try and cut off any attempt from Vausten to push up aggressively towards the eastern side. He's got his first penal trooper squad out here, the equipped with the ever potent SVT-40 semi-automatic rifle, going for the fuel point there. Might lay down some sandbags around here to that way in case they take it and occupy the house. You can still grab it back. 2nd infantry out there for Fortune, and the 1st Panzer Division, which was in fact a pretty elite Panzer Division, just tends not to get talked about much beyond Operation Barbarossa, where it actually had the distinction of being one of the most heavily equipped divisions in terms of armoured half tracks, which in particular at that point were incredibly rare, yet it still had, I believe, 2 battalions worth of sort of panzer companies manned in them, which was exceedingly rare, where most divisions at that point only had maybe like a company's worth of them. Got penal troops moving here, 2nd infantry setting up to be able to catch them here, but still he managed to end the point there. Neutral, cutting Fortune off from refueling. Meanwhile here, penal engineers being cut to ribbons by the MD-42. 2nd one moving ahead here. I imagine Fortune will be taken up anytime soon. We got more penal from way there for Vausten. Moving up Pioneers, MD-40 on the cutoff point. They have to defend the fuel as well, otherwise Vausten can still cut him off. Pioneers back here, spotting, seeing what's going on. Then MD-40 ranks it up to catch their penal troops in time. We can see that Vausten is taking a very circular. Ooh, maybe not. Ah, he pulls it off nonetheless. And there goes, now able to threaten Fortune's fuel. Pretty bad there for Fortune. Risk falling back, but he's already taking up. But even then, if he gets cut off from the fuel, he won't be able to get out. I'd like to make a nice company anytime soon. So he's going to be in a really spotty position then with only pioneers and MD-42s versus an increasing number of penal troopers there for Vausten. His penal troopers there by getting suppressed by the MD-42 pioneers moving in. MD-42 there. There we go. Point into neutral, immediately pops back in. And now it's going to be really difficult for Fortune to deal with this, since he lacks any support weapons and any infantry can sort of really clear this out. So this is a pretty weak spot there for Fortune. And meanwhile, though, he's just pushing on aggressively here versus Vausten's pioneers, guarding down the penals up close until they get unsuppressed, in which case the pioneers very much have to get the devil out of there. And we can see he's actually going for a deep flank on the MD-42, catching Fortune off guard there because he doesn't see what's going on up there. And that is a very nice flank there by Vausten, further leaving Fortune here in a very messy situation in the first few minutes of the game. His tier 2 rush is simply having an incredibly hard time getting any traction on the road to Kharkov. We got some early telemites here, trying to at least, cut off any potential scout cast or any T-70 rushes there from his opponent. MD-42 there catches the penal troops there, but at the same time leaves its flanks exposed. So far he is fortunate that Vausten is not trying to push that. He is able to get up, but I'd like to make a nice company. We'll probably push out some Panzer Grenadier here against his opponent, which would certainly help out there with all the penal troopers and whatnot. But there you go, penal troops now converting here on the cut-off point where the MD-42 is trying to take it, but he's getting one veers off, leaving only one squad to deal with it. But even then, that is enough to push back. But it does mean here that Vausten loses an opportunity to actually wipe out the machine gun and take it for his own. But nonetheless, Fortune is not having a happy time here. You got the like to make a nice company up. He needs to go for some Panzer Grenadier here. That's going to take him some time to get out any light vehicles to work with them. Vausten there going for the M3A1. Pioneers moving up to grab back the fuel point. We got the Panzer Grenadier on the way there for Fortune, and the 1st Panzer Division here, as men of the 15th Guards Tank Corps are rapidly securing as much ground as they can here. Though they're not doing an awful lot to secure it. No mines, sandbags, or barbed wire here from Vausten. Instead, they've got flamethrowers to continue push the offensive. And there you go, MG42 being flanked by MG42 that means to cover the MG42. So we'll have to see how it works out here. In this case, though, machine gun caught in a pretty bad situation. He's popping a satchel charge here. Vausten's aggression knows no bounds. We got the Panzer gun ready. He will likely need a second one to have a chance. Plus, he can't really spend manpower on anything else unless he wants more pioneers and MG42. So as you can see, that's not working out particularly well. He needs more infantry. He needs more Panzer gun here versus Vausten. So far, incredibly aggressive infantry tactics. Said he's going for a Pack 40 there. He's really worried about light vehicles there from his opponent. Whereas there we go, setting up for the Scout Car Flamethrower combo, which is really good versus the MG42s, since he can basically react fast and then can set up. Plus, without any Panzerfaust, Fortune is in fact quite particularly vulnerable to it. And of course, the Pack 40 will help a bit, but it's still going to leave him vulnerable until then. Even then, he has to then catch the Scout Car with the Pack 40, which is not without issues for Fortune. Still pushing back the penal troopers, holding the cutoff point, but the Scout Car is still pretty much a pain in the arse. Pioneers taking the penals up close and light cover. The MP40s, they should have a small chance, even though it's going to be pretty risky there for Fortune. Though I guess the bullets in there might help out a tiny bit. There we go, he actually wipes out the penal troopers there. He was too occupied with everything else. Gets the Panzer gun that is wiped, even as he loses his own penal troopers there, but pushes back both machine guns. We got the Pack 40 moving out there for Fortune, setting up and shoots. Gets the Scout Car. More penals away there for Vausten. Hitting the cutoff point there, finally getting it back, finally being able to connect the fuel. But so far, this is some incredibly aggressive stuff there from Vausten. Penals moving up there, and we got the tank for tank command going up. He'll probably try and rush out a T-70 next here versus Fortune. And he finally gets the cutoff point back. Finally. But only for a few seconds before Vausten is on it again. More Panzer gunners on the way for Fortune, and without the Scout Car, they should have a slightly better chance of not getting immediately murdered. There you go, 10% command up. I mean, it could be like for Fortune, he decides to take the long route around here and then hits the Telemine, though that would be incredibly fortunate for Fortune and obviously begging to be incredibly lucky, so I don't think that's going to happen. At least not right away. Penals were heading in the field pretty fast. Panzer gun is almost done for Fortune in the first Panzer Division, which is incredibly struggling here. The 15th tank corps so far displaying how it got so far in the first place by just bashing through German lines, not stopping for anything. Except vodka. Panzer gun is setting out. Pioneer setting out as well. Mines being laid down here by Vausten engineers, so it's now making it harder there for Fortune to push out. Holding up some of the forces there, buying himself some more time. He still needs to clear out the penal troops out of the house again, which has once more denied him the fuel. Fortune is continuing to have a pretty rubbish fight so far there, as Vausten continues to launch assault after assault and flank after flank. And penals are there pushed back by the MD42. And there you go, got the T-70 light tank away there. At the same time, here the Panzers do get a golden opportunity. He did move out from the house there, and might have a chance of getting them, in fact, before they even get into the house. And there you go, we got a retreat forced on Vausten. At the same time, the MD42 continue to cover the flank here, other one moving up slowly. So Fortune seems to have established some kind of toehold on the map. I mean, it's not a foothold, just sort of a toehold, just one toe on the map. That's basically what Fortune's got now, but he has something compared to Vausten, who is quickly bleeding out of victory points. He's got most of the map, but he has been able to keep him a bit bled out, so that does give Fortune a bit of hope. He's going for a second Pack 40 here. He clearly knows that the next big threat is going to be Vausten making use of his light tanks in an aggressive manner, so he's basically trying to sort of increase as much possibilities to hold that, but he's still going to need more infantry. Neither player here has yet to commit to a doctrine. Vausten, despite being so far ahead, has not considered pushing it further. And I think Fortune is the sort of situation where he's not entirely sure if he wants to commit yet. He wants to be absolutely sure of the situation before he commits to anything. At least that's a potential reading. Second Pack 40 arrives. T-70 moving down here. More mines down from Vausten, basically trying to lock down as many approaches here. We got mines was out though. Fortune is quite aware that if his opponent is sensible, he's going to lay down mines, and Fortune obviously assumes his opponent is sensible, which tends to be the best choice. I mean, some players will assume their opponents are complete putts, which is usually the best way of getting them back into the match. Quick and turn the other players around, so they're packing move westwards. Second pack moving up, then 42 with engineers. Pioneers moving down the road. He's just got both the minesweepers. Again, overall, very good idea there. I mean, if there's demo charges down, which Vausten could lay down, I mean, Fortune can very quickly lose any attempt at getting back into the map here. So, Fortune here, I think, is making the very correct choices here, considering the overall desperate situation that Vausten has plunged him into using aggressive infantry tactics. We got both pack 40s being pushed forwards here. The crew's ready to blow some ration tanks to bits. And we got a Haymalter out here, going to further plus pressure than Fortune. I mean, that's definitely a good choice, considering the Fortune so far forced to play defensive, in which case a bit of artillery there could certainly make it easier to clear out Fortune's holding points. Mines being swept up, pack 4's being pushed back, but they did almost get Vausten C-70. There's all this happening, got engineers flanking behind the pack 40s. Vausten is just added. And certainly highlighting why Fortune's going to need more infantry. There you go, another deep flank here. Vausten is a very aggressive flank here versus Fortune. He's not just beelining straight into the machine guns. He knows he needs to hit the soft spots with maximum force for maximum Stalinism. And we can see that Fortune is struggling to contain the sheer aggression that Vausten is unleashing on him. We got the infantry trying to cover against here, but again, the deep flank here with a lot of penal troops catches Fortune is an incredibly sore spot. Panzer Division being wiped out again. This is not looking good either. We got S-mines being popped down here. Troops retreating. He desperately needs more infantry, more Panzer Grenadiers to sort of try and deal with them. And there we go, second Panzer Grenadier squad out for Fortune and the German army. As the first Panzer Division is in a life and death struggle here. He did not retreat the Panzer Grenadiers, by the way, there soon enough. Got S-mines standing part to cut off and hopefully wipe out any units that might try and retreat, I guess, here. Considering there's, well, there's a second engineer squad here with potential option for mines. We got demo charges there. Sneaky. So yeah, Vausten's managed to gain control of the map again. Fortune reinforcing, getting ready for the next big push here for the fatherland, and he goes here for fortified armor. It's pretty clear what his initial plan is, and that's basically to call in a command tank, because he knows he's in the sort of situation that the only tank he's likely to be able to get there is that, because teching is going to be too costly for him now, considering how much Vausten is pushing off there. So he's banking on getting out a command tank, and Vausten lacking any serious counter to that. Plus, of course, it buffs his infantry and support weapons, giving them a bit more lease on life. So I can certainly see why Fortune is going that direction. He has very few other options, considering again just the sheer aggression here that Vausten is putting on display against him. Push here, Pim's going to be caught by the Panzer Grenadier. We force these to retreat right through here. That could be pretty good here for Fortune. They're going to try and vault. Oh, I imagine he does not want to retreat. He's seen the minefield. He's seen the potential annihilation that awaits his penal troopers. Even if they are Strafniki, even if they are hardened criminals, they're still his men, and he doesn't need them getting blown to bits. Meanwhile, Panzer's pushing against the heavy mortar crew here. Catching it out in the open. Sturmgewehrs blazing. Germans swearing. Ever harsher swears, they just push on, but yeah, it doesn't retreat it. He underestimates the two Panzer Grenadiers and what they can do with their assault rifles. Fortune here, he might be able to wipe it. He might just be able to, oh goodness. And he sacrifices the Panzer Grenadiers to try and steal it. He is so absolutely desperate to deny his opponent a heavy mortar piece, but of course get to himself, that he's willing to sacrifice his Panzer Grenadiers. Ach mein Gott. That is absolute madness. Madness? This is the Ostfront. This is every day. Right into the pack 40, but still lost them. Still, it is now within his territory, meaning he has a better chance of actually getting it out of there. He's going to try and get away, but at the same time, it's going to have to move down a small funnel where it's going to be shot to bits. No, it gets away! Sharp corner drive there, and he survives with the T-70, but the Haymalter can still fall into Fortune's hand, though again, he did sacrifice a Panzer Grenadier squad to do so. So he's still in a sticky situation. They did get a wipe with them first, he did get the Haymalter, so it's not all bad for Fortune, but this is one insane fight in just terms of sheer aggression and desperation. I mean, Vausten is suffering some heavy casualties, but so is Fortune. He's just barely getting any territory. And the victory points is just bleeding out. So this is intense. Going back the Kharkov point here, moving down the west side there with the Pack 40 carrying the machine gun crew. Second one coming from the house here, though there's quite a blind spot there, which penal troops could get close to. Or maybe some engineers for the flamethrower. Yeah, he's going to steal that Haymalter. He's setting up a munitions cache as well, which indicates more munitions for mines because, well, he's probably going to have to do something to deal with all this infantry and armor, so more mines is definitely one way of doing it. Plus, of course, abilities in theory, like smoke for any armor he might get. Panzer they need to retreat though, they're about to get wiped out, so low on health. Heavy mortar needs to be positioned as well. And he definitely is going to need more Panzer Grenadiers. I mean, he's suffering heavy casualties on that front as well here. Cash cancelled. A lot of manpower flowing in, but there we go. He can actually soon call in the command tank. We are one command point away from Fortune calling in the failed Panzerwagen, and then Vausten is closing in on the T-3045. Penal troops, T-70 support moving in. Pack 40 being outmaneuvered here. S Minefield can't cover it. MD42 is going to struggle as well. S-Taken MD42 might be able to set up to cover it there since he doesn't know it's there. S Minefield's going off left, right. Penal troopers being annihilated in a shower of gore and explosions, and then the machine guns catch them in a crossfire from hell, wiping the entire squad there. Vausten is being punished here by the steel hand of Fortune. At the same time, more penal troops attacking in there, catching more machine guns off guard, threatening the Pack 40s. T-sending pulled back, MD42 flanked by engineers. Pioneers, they're forced out of the house as the satchel charge goes off, blowing the entire thing to smithereens. Moments away from the command tank. You could still go for another Panzer Grenadier squad by the way there. And meanwhile, Vausten is bringing up the T-3045 here, plus more penal troopers. No consideration there for Guardsmen with DP light machine guns. Just more penal troopers here for Vausten and the 15th Tank Corps. Panzers are moving it. T-70 charging forward. Command tank. There you go. You can call it in. Call it in. Befehls Panzerwagen 4 arrives. Pack 40 being flanked here by the T-70 penal troopers. They're being cut to range by the Panzer Grenadiers. He's pushing his luck too far there. Vausten is getting overconfident. He's Churchill charging in the Pack 40. Losing another penal trooper squad. His unit preservation is shot to hell. He's aggressive as all out Stalingrad, but he just can't preserve his men. Got the command tank out here for Fortune, the Befehls Panzerwagen 4. Only piece of armor apparently the kampfgruppe here could manage to pull forward to the front here from the 1st Panzer Division. Command tank there with Panzer Grenadier support pursuing the engineers. T-35 there rolling in. Panzers are flanked from the rear. They are in desperate need of healing. The Panzer in particular with the command tank support could probably wipe them out in a matter of seconds. Does he actually have... No, he hasn't gone for medics at all. Oh, the Assata charging the Panzer Grenadiers need to retreat the penal troopers. His unit preservation. Ah! He wipes them! They're both suffering insane casualties, but Fortune is still building a larger force here. Vausten really needs to work on his unit preservation. I mean, I can see why he's maybe getting away with it. He's just so far ahead there. He's just thinking, I've got tanks. I don't need to preserve my units. They are penal troopers. But at the same time, that kind of mentality can give your opponent a chance of getting back into things. Fortune in placing his panzers there. MD42 being flanked by the T-3045. And we got there the penal troops being suppressed by the MD42, which is about to get wiped out by the T-3045 there. Almost Pack 40 setting up there. T-35 rolling back, Pioneer sweeping in. Once to get almost wiped out here by the penal troops and the T-3045 with its 85mm gun, hence the T-34 85-bit. There's also in theory after the war T-34 122, but the problem as it turned out, that gun was a bit too big for the tank. Fun fact. Command tank there shooting, MD42 getting blasted by the T-35, they almost wiped out. Panzers there hauling down the command tank, but then cancelling as they realise there's better thing to do, like not getting shot at. Penals there need to be careful, just going for more penals there. Vausten by the way needs to retreat these ones though. Sats a charge off. Fortune this time around dodges it. Hits a mine there, so he actually mined up that area as well. The Fortune at some point. T-35 suffers heavy engine damage. Command tank's going to try and flank it and knock it out. Fortunately, he's being incredibly desperate. I mean, he's down to 115. I mean, despite all these losses, Vausten right now is still pretty much looking like he's going to win. I mean, the only thing that's keeping Fortune in is the fact that Vausten's unit preservation has been a bit on the weaker side. T-70 got taken up by the Telemann at some point there, so it actually paid off. Main gun out on the T-3045. They can soon go for another one. In fact, you can go for one right now. People are moving in to try and get the Pack 44. Gets his T-35, but they might not be in time. No, he gets it. He gets it. A loss for Fortune. And the 1st Panzer Division. Pioneers could be next here on the firing line. Now, of course, the question for Vausten is he's going to have to rely on vehicle crew repairs to fix it. MG42 there stalls them from stealing their Pack 40. Now the T-35 on their way there for Vausten and 15th Tank Corps. Command tank with Panzer Grenadiers counter-attacking furiously for the fatherland. Flashing out the Russians, so the command tank delivers a well-placed high-explosive round force on the way there. Vausten there forced away. He's just keeping the pressure, keeping up the madness. As Fortune is down to 86 victory points. The T-35 is apparently reporting being shot at by anti-tank units despite not being anywhere close to the front line. Hartmann Volker fighting there from his command tank, desperately blasting the Russians to bits one by one. He is the thing keeping the entire 1st Panzer Division in this sector together. 14 kills in that command tank. 2nd T-35 there arrives though for Vausten with another engineer squad on the way there. Down to 70 victory points here. More Panzers weather for Fortune slowly builds up a force, but at the same time, the way the situation is developing, he could still easily lose. He's down to 67, 66 points. More Panzer Grenadiers there for Fortune. T-35 they're almost fixed up. Bit more to go. 2nd one moving ahead. Air recon's in for Fortune. This way you can basically get an idea of where Vausten is. And thusly, try to sort of avoid him as much as possible, using the SS to fight him. And thusly also secure territory and grab victory points more safely. So this is a pretty good move there by Fortune. This is a pretty good move. We can see that Vausten reacts to the intrusion by the Western victory point with fury and rushes his T-35 over there. And we can see that Fortune immediately sees it, just retreats. He's not going to lose a unit. He knows it's going to come down to not just securing and holding victory points, but unit preservation. And in that regard, he knows the way Vausten is so far throwing away stuff there. If he can sort of hold on there, if he can just fight smartly, he has a chance here now. Again, it's a very small, very thin chance that could easily just vanish. Like a snowball in hell. Stalinist hell. MG4 to the replaced by the MG4 2 Panzers. They're trying to flank. There we go. Caught by the Panzers out there to cover the assault rifles. Skewer them in a matter of moments. And they need to retreat. T-5's attacking up through the centre here. Pioneers being engaged. And we could see another wipe there, which is definitely Vausten in a bit of a sticky situation. But can he pull it off? Can he retreat in time? Pioneers almost wiped out. Fortune there puts his luck. And which is something he has to be very careful about there. In East, another push there, halted by the command tank. 19 kills for the fatherland. T-5 rolling up through the centre. Pack 40 moving up. He's got 3 Pack 40s now, by the way. 3 Panzer out there can only that way blast Vausten's armoured hold into pieces. Command tank there pursuing T-5 there. We got marked vehicle on it. And we got another bit of air recon here from Fortune. Once more sussing out the battlefield here for the fatherland. So again, he's constantly aware of where Vausten is, where his chances are, and where they definitely aren't. But he's down to 42 victory points. I mean, Vausten here is cutting it ever closer. Troops reinforcing. T-85 is putting back for repairs. Engineers seizing as much territory as they can. Fortune rolling ahead. Hiccups from me. Grabbing points here. 2 Panzer Grenadier squads, 2 Pioneers, 2 MG42s, 3 Pack 40s, and a Pilford heavy mortar with 1 command tank versus 3 Punitive squads and 2 T-35s. Vausten is enjoying the armoured advantage, but on the other hand, Fortune has the larger force up due to, again, those rather egregious losses he suffered. They did some questionable unit preservation at the time, but of course also some pretty vicious defence there by Fortune. Flanking MG42, their command tank trying to do what it can to stop the Russians from advancing. Outmaneuvered. Pumas there taking losses. T-35 moving in there. He might be committing a bit too much. He needs to retreat, I think. He's pushing his forces too far there, Vausten. His assault was, in a sense, already kind of weak, and his forces are being depleted fast, and they can sort of push the assault here. So I think Vausten is committing too little, too aggressively. And he's now losing all victory points here to Fortune. Of course, he's got plenty to give, obviously. He doesn't need necessarily to rush it down, but again, he might be getting into those state there where some players arrive and they just sort of go completely bonkers. Like, they just stop thinking in the long term. They only think in the short term, like, you know, if I can just win here, you know, it doesn't matter how much I lose. And that sort of mentality, they can very quickly rob some players of fight. I mean, he is still bleeding on victory points, but he's increasingly getting a smaller and smaller force here versus Fortune, and that's going to give Fortune more time to bring up stuff. I mean, hell, he can soon get an elephant tank destroyer out. I mean, he hasn't been able to take out, but you can either get away with an elephant tank destroyer to help keep Vausten's T-35s in check. Almost got the Panzer there wiped. T-35 is going to need some repairs. Seriously, troops reinforcing will also soon go for a third T-35. Fortune getting ever closer to the elephant tank destroyer. 31 points left over Fortune by the S-mines blown to bits there by the T-35. There again, Fortune doing whatever he can to slow down the advances of Vausten and the 15th Tank Corps. But you don't need to avoid attacking into where Fortune is strongest. I not just need to hit every other point. You know, I mean, Fortune still is going to struggle to control a lot of the map. There's a Vausten sort of trying to play that to his advantage. He might have a better chance, but the more time that goes with just sort of waste forces on head-on assaults, well entrenched there with Fortune, the harder it's going to be for him to actually execute a more, you know, successful strategy longer term that actually allow him to win this game. More S-mines there holding the penal troopers. Panzers moving for the fuel. The victory point there, the remaining one which is now under control of Vausten. Pioneer sneaking ahead. Then we got more S-mines down. He's laying down a lot of S-mines. For Fortune, they're definitely a vital part of his strategy of trying to hold as much territory with as few forces as possible. We got a half-track on the way there for Fortune. He's going for a half-track to further strengthen his field presence and his ability to maintain the field presence here versus Vausten. Panzer there wiped out another squad. Wiped about to lose. Get the T-35. That would definitely be a big win there for Fortune. That's going to further cripple Vausten's offensive firepower alongside another penal squad wiped out there again. Vausten really needs to work with unit preservation. It's the one thing that is, I think, constantly keeping a bit short their victory against Fortune, as allowing Fortune to just keep him at distance there. But we got the half-track out there. 251 Mittlere Schützenpanzerwagen arriving for the first Panzer Division, and immediately sitting back, they're reinforcing all of his frontline units that needed. Third T-35 on the way there for Vausten, though he's still going to need everything else fixed up. He can use the one here to grab points. Very good use of the ability there. But this is one crazy fight, that's for sure. More air reconnaissance for Fortune. Ever more. And of course, Vausten is lacking that. He does not have air reconnaissance. He doesn't even have flares from his mortar because Fortune stole that mortar. So for Vausten now, finding a good spot to hit and flank from is going to be really difficult. And of course, it also requires him to look out for it. But again, I think Vausten is sort of still stuck in that. You know, I just need to close this fight mentality. I just need to go all in. Not care about the long-term cost or anything. I do anything in something he can win. But it is very much with his allowing Fortune to just further fight favourably and bleed out Vausten. He should just consider how to just whittle down Fortune's forces again and then sort of push for victory, but Vausten seems to be increasingly thinking only in short terms. Command tank there though, by closing in on victory. 225 kills. The penal troopers just blazing at it. They don't care about the tank. T-field engaging the MD-42. They got Pack 40 hiding up all there by the riverside, blasting out at penal troopers. They're going for the Pack 40s. More T-field arriving here for Vausten. You probably better luck rushing the centre one, set to charge off. Then another penal trooper squad wiped here for Vausten. Another one wiped. Fortune, by the way, is getting ever closer to the elephant. He could actually go on for some time. He could also just take that and go for medium arm to support the rest of his ad. So I'm not entirely sure what Fortune is thinking there, but whatever he's thinking in terms of armor needs to happen soon. And Vausten really needs to work on his unit preservation. Again, needs to stop thinking so short-termed. Wiped an MG42 there. In fact, he wiped both of Fortune's MG42s. He's got none left. On the other hand, he's still got the Panzer Grenadiers, Pioneers, and the command tank, plus a half tank. And there you go, bomb grenade. Dart zip, but almost losing the entire penal squad. There you go. This time he retreats. But he about to lose. Yes, he loses them. He's got no infantry left but the engineers. He's down to just tanks. And the base is raiding, doing damage, but he's finding there's no one at home. And we can see that Fortune's going to take advantage of him. and just firing it from max range. So now how is Vausten going to get out? He could actually try and rush up from behind him with the other T-35, deal with the Pack 40, in which case he could punish Fortune for that. He's going in there, but he's a bit slow there with the T-35. There you go, looks like here Fortune realizes something is up. Oh dear, Panzer could be right inside the base here. Other T-35 moving in there, taking advantage of the chaos. Let chaos! Still need to get the other T-35 out of there. And there we go. Oh, got one of the Pack 40s, but he can easily be recruited. He needs to clear out the other Pack 40. Out, lost the T-35 there. Command tank finally on. He got another T-35 there for Vausten. He still needs more infantry though. And there we go. We got the Elephant Tank Destroyer out for Fortune. We got the Elephant Tank Destroyer. Schwerer Panzerjäger. He needs to get that T-35 out of there before that hits it. He doesn't know it's there, but it's coming. It's coming. An elephant in a 1 versus 1 fight. And there you go. Fires its 88mm high velocity gun straight at the T-35. They're doing a lot of damage. You just need to get it out of there before it's too late. And the Sentinel needs to push back there, but the command tank supported by Pioneers needs to get all his tanks back for repairs and then push for another big armored assault here. Guardsmen now being called by Vausten. Finally. Command tank there being held down. Need to pull back the T-35. They keep pushing his luck though, Vausten. He keeps pushing it. Yes, managed to bring Fortune down to 18 victory points though. Not bad, but he still needs to be careful there. Oh my god. 18 points left. There you go. Wiped to Pack 40, but the elephant is nearby. Moving up another T-35. Moving up the third one. Command tank there. Marked vehicle, hold down. Veteran C2, T-35s, they're blasting away. They can't quite seem to get it. Gets the command tank. Pioneer's about to get wiped, but there you go. The elephant blasts it apart with Pack 40 support. Mines down to cover the eastern victory point. Tank being repaired. Elephant rolling ahead through the wreckage, the debris, the carnage. And there you go, tries to hit the victory point there, but hits the mine laid down by Fortune. Is now sitting duck for the elephant. Half-track rolling up there with a damaged engine itself. DP light machine guns up the hay mortar raining down on them. They're going to get the half-track. Pioneers moving in there to contest. This is madness. There we go, and the other T-35 is basically sitting back in front of the elephant. There you go, reveals it. Oh no, and he lost the guardsman. Vausten's barely got anything, he just keeps fighting on like a berserker. He's so close, he can taste the victory. Then again, it might be the vodka he's tasting. Although the vodka going his way back up. Considering he's had a lot of it. Of the liquid courage. So nice jet down to one penalty of the squad, one engineer squad. Fortune though has lost a lot. He's lost almost all of his packs. He's lost machine guns, panzer guns, Pioneers over and over again. He lost his command tank. I mean, Fortune is in a slightly worse off situation. Well, if Vausten again been heads at preserving his infantry, who knows? He might have been able to break it, but Vausten's infantry preservation is still something quite else. 2 kills on the elephant, 2 T-35s destroyed. Now it's going to turn it on the infantry. My God, Jürgen, turning a heavy tank destroyer into infantry. Have you gone mad? Have you no respect for human decency? That is a waste of ammunition. Well, you know, we got nothing else to fire at them, so we gotta use it. Do you want to explain that to the Führer? No, actually I do not. Actually, Abercon's called in again. I mean, Fortune is taking no chances of Vausten. He knows the guy's completely bonkers. And any wrong move here could cause Fortune the game. I mean, he's down to 18 victory points still, so I mean, one good push from Vausten could still win him the game, but Vausten here is pretty bloody. So is Fortune, but Fortune is a little less bloodied. A little less. Elephant just bombarding. More panzer gun is there for Fortune. He's gone for a second half track, by the way, for more frontline presence. I'm surprised he's trying to fight for the centre one, rather the southern western one there, which is much easier target for Vausten, seeing as there's absolutely no one near it. Enforcing the punches there by the half track, popping them in. Oh dear. Could this be a mobile mechanized kampfgruppe here for Fortune? Yes, it is. We're getting mechanized infantry tactics now as Fortune further racks his brain for solutions to this madness. Satchel charge on it. Panzer retreating, but nonetheless he's managed to defend the victory point here to keep it out of the hands of Vausten and the 15 Tank Corps. So now it's got a mechanized infantry group he can use to basically rush to point to defend and make it harder now for Vausten to break through or even outmaneuver Fortune. So this is actually a big problem for him. They need to fix it up there. Concerted effort there in the centre victory point. People need to retreat. Vausten there in this case displaying a bit better unit preservation. Half-tech fixed up. Pioneers popping back in. Meanwhile, Panzer's Pioneers charging forwards here. Those Panzer gunners need to retreat. Geballte Ladung there. Bundle grenade of Desperation. Oh, he almost broke entirely into it. He still suffered losses. Got the veteran 2 Panzer counter-attack. Got a satchel charge off. Trying to repeat the trick here. In this case, doesn't work out. Fortune dodges it with finesse. At least, not getting his men blown up. 17 points still left here for Fortune. 17. The clock is ever ticking, however slowly, against Fortune. He is still desperately holding on. He's laying down more mines. He's taking no chances whatsoever with the Vausten. There you go. He's rushing one mechanized group there towards the victory point there. He's going to use his mobility as much as possible here versus Vausten. He's going to try and push for that advantage no matter the cost. Or use whatever resource he has to sort of, somehow hold on for dear life. That's definitely the right choice there. Going back here maybe to pick up the other Panzers, then rush them back here to the eastern victory point, pushing through the south here. Mansfield units all there for Vausten, seemingly aware that, hang on, those fascists are laying down mines. Counter-attacking down here. Pioneers forming a desperate defense as they wait for the Panzer Grenadier there to counter-attack, and there you go, Pims are being cut to ribbons. Gaining local firepower superiority, and there you go, you got another command tank out for Fortune, making things even more difficult. Vausten might be planning for another T-35 here. Getting back the northern one. And there you go, another tank for Vausten and the 15th Tank Corps. Although it would seem, at this point, it would seem the armoured spearhead of the Third Union has increasingly lost steam, but it is still just trudging onwards until the very last man and bullet has been spent against the Germans. Command takes a point. There you go. Again, mechanized group here strikes at the penal troopers, shredding them in a matter of seconds. Displaying the true might of German tactical superiority. Hey, more to the results of doing its part there for the fatherland. There you go. It's going to move the half again, then the retreat path, then going to try and wrap that here. In this case, doesn't quite work out. Was close though. Was close. So it's reinforcing, and there we go. Another T-35 there for Vausten. Fortune's command tank and elephant tank destroyer hanging back around the centre. After taking a hit there from the T-35, elephant tank destroyer moving in. Smoke pop there, and there you go, hit there from the elephant on the T-35 there. Moving up to secure the eastern victory point. Again, 17 points left if we can somehow gain a bit there. But now we can see their Fortunes on the offensive as the T-35 sending in the elephant and the command tank after it. Oh dear, yes, almost got it there. Command tank is getting marked there, but still the rearm exposed, and he gets the T-35. Leaving him with only a bit of infantry now versus a reasonably strong Fortune here now, with the Panzer Grenadiers, the half-tank command tanks, and as opposed to also the elephant in some measure as the infantry, though not a very good one. Still holding the eastern one. 251 points left there for Vausten. Panzer Division moving forward. Closing eventually free. Half track in need of repairs. There you go, advancing across the battered road, but encountering increasingly stiffening resistance from Vausten and all of his Strafniki. But determined not to lose. Because there will be terrible consequences to pay if they lose. Another penal troop squad on the way there for Vausten. Trying to flank about, but he just lacks so much weight there, and there's still also many other things that Fortune couldn't do for the matter, including the command tank, but also just the half tank with Panzers. And there you go, almost got another penal troop squad there. But Vausten is still at it. He is still fighting like a madman. There you go. Wiped. Fixing up the elephant there with 4 kills, 2 armored, 2 infantry kills. Command tank being held down again. Dickon, mein Gott, Dickon, we have to be ready for the next assault. These Russians are insane. Have they no self-preservation? Got a medic bunker at the front line for Fortune. He knows again he can't afford to retreat. So again, he's positioning everything as close to the front line as possible. More mines. I mean, Fortune is not underestimating Vausten here until he basically gets the victory screen. And even then, Fortune's still going to be a bit, you know, I'm watching you. I'm watching you. I'm not going to let you fool me. And then, out of nowhere, Vausten kicks in the door to Fortune's room and shoots him in the back. Ultimately winning. That'll be the one thing Fortune won't see coming. At this rate anyways. Esmond Field there's buying him time. Stalling up all the pins. He's flanking in with the Panzer. He needs to be careful. Still he's going at it for Germany. Deutschland. Endsieg. Catching all the pins out there with the Panzer going to be a veteran free. Veteran C2. Elite crack SS Waffen in. Oh, Waffen is into just there you go, wipes them out with a bit of support from the Mortar, and the last Pilgrim squad could also be annihilated, and there you go, game over. Holy snot biscuits, what a fight here between Fortune and Vausten. I mean, Vausten had just displayed a bit better unit preservation. He probably could have won, but he kept throwing his infantry, he kept retreating at worst times. I mean, he's an aggressive player, really good at flanking. He just sucks at preserving his infantry. Had he been better able to do that, I'm pretty sure Fortune would be in a lot more trouble. Going for another Immortal with more guards, but soon again Fortune could have been in more trouble. But he just kept at it though, and that was sort of what helped Fortune to scrape together victory. Those very close at times, using mines, infantry, command takes where they could scrape together just behind time. That's a really weak start there. A few mistakes that allowed Vausten to really get a nasty stranglehold on Fortune, but Fortune, once again, thanks to Vausten's mistake, able to salvage his back there. But even then, it was damn close there. It was a really intense fight there. And stuff like the Panzers, the half-track really just gave Fortune just that bit of extra reach in the late game to ensure that Vausten could not break through. So, good lord, that was quite a fight there. So I hope you enjoyed this match. Hope you learned something from it. If you did, subscribe, tell your friends, share it with everyone. If not, send in a reply on to feedback in the comment section. Of course, also a big thanks to all of my Patreon supporters, without which this episode would not be possible. So if you'd like to support the Propagandacast, the links are in the video description. You can do so on Patreon or PayPal. This is Imperial Dancing. Cheers, thank you for watching. Hope to see you all tomorrow for another stunning episode. Bye.